What is a comfort zone? And should you always stay inside of it? Or is it time to push beyond those boundaries and see what lies beyond? For a long time now, Lauren and I have talked about getting out and exploring more and experiencing new things. And we've done that with the RV. But has living in our RV become our new comfort zone? And in some ways I could tell you, yes, it has. With that being said, what is going to push us to what's next, to what's just outside that comfort zone? We've slowly started pushing boundaries, making small changes, some behind the scenes, some others right out in the front, but slowly, because let's be honest, anytime you make a change, the slower it happens, the better off you are, and YouTube doesn't love when you do these types of things. And we're not just making changes to the channel. I am on a hike, and Lauren is not here. I've been making a point to get out and just walk. I've always committed to working out and getting healthier and all those things. And I've realized that I probably take on way more than I can handle at one time. So I have been challenging myself to just walk 2 miles a day, no matter what. And for the most part, I've missed a couple days. Since we got back from the cruise, I've done it almost every single day. I think I've missed 3, and that's it over the course of a month. I'm just tired of walking around an RV park, so I've started to find little walking trails and hiking places. So at least it's, pretty like this. Well, let's get back to that comfort zone conversation. So, is a comfort zone a good thing or a bad thing? Arguments can be made both ways. For us right now, we're trying to figure out how we can push just a little bit outside that comfort zone, whether it be with how we film things and challenging ourselves to do better, or if it's what we're experiencing, whether it's getting immersed more in a town or a local culture, or if it's just we're going to the same resort places. We found that we have this bad habit as of late. In 2024, we've taken the same 2 routes now with our RV 3 times and about to be 2 times. And that is to Florida and then back, and then to Elkhart. We've taken other little trips, but not like we had talked about doing. Now, while we will always own an RV, and I can't stress that enough, we love the RV lifestyle. We will always own an RV. We will always have the type of RV that fuels our travels. But going forward, we're going to start prioritizing our travels over the RV and let what we want to do dictate how we do it, more so than the other way around. So what does that mean in terms of the channel and the podcast? Well, at the end of the day, not a lot. It's going to be kind of status quo for the channel. Obviously, you've seen a few different things. We did a cruise series. That was actually pretty well received, and we were super happy with it. And so we have more of those planned. We have other types of trips planned. So with all that being said, though, we need your help. What do you guys want to see? If we focus more on travel and less on the device that gets us to the travel, do you want to see RV destinations? Do you want to see quick road trips, 24 hours in a city? Maybe some challenge stuff? Maybe immerse ourselves a little bit more by meeting locals? Possibly, flying some other places and international destinations. So we want to know your opinion. So please leave a comment down below. Again, let us know what you think, because at the end of the day, we do this for you guys. And we want to help people, said it a million times, experience more. And sometimes that's just getting out and maybe taking one risk that day. Now, we haven't talked much about the podcast. It's been on a bit of a hiatus. That's been by design. I realized that we weren't making the content that we wanted to make on it while it was doing well. It was very specific about RVing. And it was called the RV Shenanigans Podcast. And we wanted to be able to talk about all of our adventures. So a few days ago, we rebranded it. And it's just simply the Millers in Motion Podcast now. So all we did by removing the RV Shenanigans title, which we love, by the way, and renaming it the Millers in Motion Podcast, and made it become whatever we want it to become. So now it has the opportunity to evolve like we can. because I think that that's important. If we assume that we're going to be okay with how we do things all the time, then you're not really getting outside that comfort zone that we're talking about. We're not really pushing past a boundary of something that we would like to do or see. And I think as a whole, that's super important to be able to do. And so it is going to still do a bunch of RV stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's not changing in that capacity. But at the same time, it is going to do other things. Like one of our big fun things that we do is this miles and points accumulation and how we use credit cards to do that. And we want to teach more people because, you know, these companies that do this are just giving this stuff away. And that's one way that you can pay for some of these things. You know, we have some experiences coming up that are on the less expensive side of things. We don't want money to be a thing that stops people from exploring this world. And so getting the message out that you can do it in an inexpensive way is important to us. So the podcast as a whole is not only going to talk about RVs, but it's going to talk about all things travel, destinations, bucket list trips, you name it. And if you have a topic suggestion, by all means, we would love to hear it. Just past the 1.5 mile mark. So next week on our channel, we're actually going to host a live because we want to do this followed by an opportunity to ask direct questions. So we're going to talk a little bit more about some of our plans that we have coming up. We have pretty much planned all the way through January as far as what we're going to do for content. And it is mostly RV. But there are a few things we're doing because we want to with our family. Like, we're going to go to a Packer game this year. And we're going to take Lauren's little sister. She's been a Packer fan since she was a 6, 7, 8, something like that. And she's never been to Lambeau Field. So as part of her graduation present for high school, we got her a trip to Lambeau Field. So we're going to take her up for a Packer game in Wisconsin. And we're going to film some of it. I don't know if all of it, but some of it. So those are the kinds of changes. And on the live, we'll go into much more detail as far as our game plan and what's coming up. And we want to be able to answer your questions, so make sure and join us next Saturday. It will more than likely be closer to 5 or 6 p.m. We haven't quite set that time yet, as we're almost 2 weeks away from it right now at the time of filming this. So we want to give everybody an opportunity to get on there and ask all the questions they can ask, whether they're RVs, you know, whether it's flying because I'm a bigger guy, you know, all of those things. I got to tell you that this is way better than walking around just an RV park. Now, some RV parks are gorgeous, but this one is just straight up magical because it's not an RV park. But there's a lake over there. It's kind of hard to see, and we're just kind of walking around. Also, I'm shooting this whole thing on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, so I love my Sony. I don't know that I could ever get rid of it completely, but sometimes it's nice to just grab a small little, what I call incognito cam, and roll with it. Now, for those of you that made it to this point, I want to give you a little heads up. We told our family members, which is our membership platform, if you want to learn more, see behind the scenes footage, bonus content, all of that stuff, you can check out how to join our family, which is like our insiders or crew, depending on, you know, which creators you talk to, and they call it. I will link that down below, as well as you can scan this QR code right here. It'll take you to our website. That'll give you more information. But they've known about this for about a week now, but we have teamed up with Switch It Up, Todd and Sheila. We haven't done anything with them in a very long time. And so we are going to be one of the creators that is at the United RV Rally, or United Rally. So it's not necessarily one of their crew campouts, but it is going to have a bunch of other channels. I'm not going to announce any of them because they haven't officially announced. They've announced the event, but they haven't said who's coming. But I can tell you, we have other friends that will be there. So it is January, just outside of Tucson, Arizona, at the Pima County Fairgrounds. It's January 11th, 12th, something like that. There's a QR code here. Scan that, and you can learn more about joining us at the United Rally. Come out, have some fun, hang out, relax. We're going to cook some food, just have a good old time. We are excited about the next chapter and the evolution of not only this channel and the podcast, but us as people and you as people. And hopefully you're encouraged to come out and join us on some of these travels. We would love to see you on the road, in an airport, on a cruise, whatever it happened to be. We want you to get out and experience it just like we are trying to do. So do us a huge favor. Hopefully you have enjoyed this, If you have and you like the idea of the content that's coming, please consider subscribing. And the things that make YouTube like us, which is hitting that like button. And again, we want to know what's outside your comfort zone, what's just outside looking in. If you ask us to make a video on something to maybe ease some of your pains, I'm willing to put myself through whatever it is to encourage that, to get you out and travel. So until then, thank you so much for watching. We're still going to tell our mom goodbye because we got in trouble for not doing that a couple of videos ago. So we will talk to you guys all next week on the live. Don't forget to join us. See you next week. Bye, Mom.